Rice are not
This
better
is
than
your
Jack.
channel, and I'm telling you, he's not.
Where are they now?
Okay,
He's leading them out of it.
hold on. Okay, but these intangibles, he got them in the bottom three. So
No, he didn't get them in the bottom
what do you
three.
mean he's captain? You see what he does? That's important.
No, the question... You're in love with this player.
I'm in love with this player.
You're in love with this player. You actually went as far as saying that if Arsenal sign him, you think they'll win the title.
Yep.
And that is Caicedo, Moises Caicedo, of course, of Brighton. Excellent midfield player.
Yep.
And you're absolutely loving him. And he'll be playing on the week. And, you know, he's a player we're going to have to really keep a clamp on. He's a very, very dangerous player. Now, we got a poll up at the moment. And we're asking the question, which one of these two would you rather? Because we've been linked with Caicedo. His agent was being questioned about whether he's going to be there at the end of the season. I know he just signed a new deal and everything. And I know that we tried to get him in January. But his agent's suggesting that, you know, if the right offer comes in for him and in the summer, he'll probably be gone. Declan Rice is the other player we've been linked to. I was watching him play last night for West Ham in the Conference League. Vital player for them.
Yep.
Again, the rumours have come out this week. We've been heavily linked with him, saying that West Ham categorically saying that we're only probably going to sell him to a Champions League club. We, of course, are a Champions League club now.
There you go.
So I'm not sure if they're going to buy both. I'd love that. I'd love them to buy both of them. I very much doubt it. If you can only buy one out of them two players, Declan Rice or Moises Caicedo, which one would you get? Now, there's a poll going at the moment, and over 1,122 of you have voted in this poll so far. 54% go with Caicedo.
You know what?
46% with Declan Rice.
You know,
You said Caicedo. Why?
Listen, firstly, listen. I love AFTV. I love what they do. I love all the fans. I get stopped all the time to say like how amazing AFTV is. But those, I guess, 500 people that have voted for Rice, I'm going to look in the camera. Shame on you. Shame on you. How you can pick Rice as a better option for Arsenal than Caicedo is beyond me.
Hold on.
It's beyond me.
Hold on. Why don't you turn around this way and say it to me? Because I'm picking Declan Rice.
The fact that you want Rice, shame on you. Shame on you.
Why?
I'll be honest. I think if we had got Caicedo this season, I think we would have walked the league. I really do think we would have walked the league.
Why?
I think Caicedo, he is a transformative player. And when I think about someone like Caicedo, I think he can play right back, which we saw him play against Man United. He can play DM, the number 6, like literally intercept him. He can do the box to box. He can spray the ball left. He can spray the ball right. He can do those, penetrative passes. He can score goals, which you've seen that he can do this season as well. I don't know what more you want from a player. And I look at somebody like Caicedo. He reminds me of a Kante region. He can honestly do two players work in one position. And listen, this isn't to say that Rice isn't good, but I just think there's levels. And when you think about levels, you think about Caicedo. You think about what De Bruyne is this season. You think about what even Odegaard's done this season. There's levels to this. You think about even, dare I say, what Mo Salah's done again. Not had the best season, but he's got the goals. And you think about what Caicedo is. He is so unique in his role and his job. And I think that unfortunately, or fortunately for if you are English, that English bias and that English tax weighs heavy on someone like Rice.
Have you watched Declan Rice play?
Of course I watched Declan Rice play, yeah.
All those things you just was saying about Caicedo, Declan Rice is similar. Declan Rice.
Nah, I'm sorry.
Declan Rice can play as a number 6. Brilliant at it. Declan Rice can play as a number 8. He can be box to box, up and down. Brilliant at that. Declan Rice can score goals. He needs to score more, but he can score.
How many goals? Did
you see that goal he scored the other day?
Yeah,
he literally ran the length of the pitch and he scored.
How many goals he's got in the Premier League?
Hold on.
How many goals he's got in the Premier League
This season, I'm not sure.
I think he's got 1. How many assists has he got in the Premier League? He's got one.
No, but he's been playing as a defensive midfielder.
No, he's been playing.
Caicedo's been playing a bit more further forward than Army.
Nah.
And Caicedo's playing in a much better team. And Declan Rice can also play as a centre back. That's another position he can play. Declan Rice, one of the most consistent players in the Premier League, even in a team that's been as poor as West Ham this season. Ask any West Ham fan, he stands out. Declan Rice, I was at the World Cup. I watched that guy every England game. He was literally it was between Saka and him.
That's for England. That's for
our
England.
best player.
That's for England.
Well, that's at international level.
Hold on.
That's at international level.
No, because Pickford plays well for England. Harry Maguire plays well for England, but they're not good for their club.
He plays well for his club and he plays well for his country.
No.
He's one of the first players on the team sheet for England. Declan Rice, for a reason.
You can't live off.
He's a top player.
Listen,
and not only that, and this is where I give him the edge as well over Caicedo, because as I said, I'd be happy we got either. Yeah, I love Caicedo. When we was trying to get him in January, I was so happy. I was vexed that it didn't happen in the end, right? Declan Rice, the other thing he has, he's a captain of West Ham. He's captain material, leadership material. He's the sort of guy that when the chips are down, he says, yo, pass me the ball, man. I'll try and make something happen.
All right.
Trust me with this.
You know what?
He's a leader. The more players we have in our team with those sort of leadership qualities, the better it is for Arsenal. For me, I would, if I could only get one, it's Declan Rice. That's for me.
You know what I will say? I will say to you, look, I think the intangibles of him being a leader, I 100%.
That's huge.
And listen, I'm going to say something which maybe contradicts myself in the sense of when I watched that Man City game, I thought we needed somebody like
Declan Rice,
because
leadership.
I don't think he's got the best technical attributes. I don't think he's got the best skill.
He is good technically.
No, he is good, but I'm saying I don't think he's the best. But what I do think is that he would have fought on that pitch, and I think a lot of the players didn't really turn up in that game. But what I think Caicedo has, he's honestly a fantastic. Listen, I know you're not. You can sometimes look at it and think, you know what, you're trying to pinch at little things to see who's better. But I think there's a clear divide in terms of the two players. And one thing I look at with someone like Caicedo, I think you've done it 2 seasons in the Premier League now, and I know Declan Rice has
done it every season.
Listen, I know he has done it every season, but for a foreign player, you look at him and say, look, he's adapted.
Great player.
He's adapted in a team that plays similar to us. He can just walk in and he knows his job. He knows what he's got to do. And as I said, I think he really raises the bar. And now look, I'm going to put the question out there, and I'm sure people are going to chat about it when we have the callers in.
Well, yeah.
Is Declan Rice better than Xhaka? No, he's not. He's not.
He is.
He's not. He's not.
He is.
I'm sorry.
This
is your channel. This is your channel, and I'm telling you, he's not. He is not.
Declan Rice
no, he's not. He's not.
I love Xhaka. Xhaka's been brilliant this season. Was brilliant last season.
He's not.
But Declan Rice is better than Xhaka.
No, he's not.
Declan Rice.
5 goals and 7 assists for Xhaka.
Rice. Yeah, but he's playing in a better team this season.
No, stop saying that.
Right, he is playing in a better team. Abraham says, Jesus Christ, Lee, that's delusional.
But if I'm going to pick anyone, it's Caicedo. I'm sorry.
Dini, can I ask you a question about the Xhaka thing as well?
Of course.
Is it unfair to judge Xhaka over the whole course of his career when he's been basically flung out to dry in the wrong position? We know that he's for Switzerland, he's been playing in this position. Yeah. When he's played for Arsenal, he's been the lone six, and we know that's not his position. He hasn't had the legs, and in truth, he's been put in a position that isn't his actual true position. So now we've seen him in his position now for the last 2 seasons, and we've seen the quality he showed, the leadership,
play all in positions,
the leadership he's shown. Do we now need to say, look, we have to judge Xhaka on what we've seen over the last 2 seasons and say, look, currently he's better? And as I said, I'm gonna keep reading out the stats to you. He's got 5 goals, 7 assists, and in truth, he would have had he would have better numbers if he had Jesus to be there, I think, to kind of connect a little bit more. So, and listen, Jesus has missed a bag full of chances. So, is that fair?
I would personally say Declan Rice is maybe slightly better than Xhaka.
Okay, just slightly, but it's not good enough.
No, it's not. No, he's not. He's a better player. He's been consistent over the years.
He's much levels higher than Xhaka?
you're trying to make excuses, Gooner, for some of Xhaka's performances over the years. Oh, he was not played in the right position. That's the point I'm making. That is why Declan Rice would be such a good signing. Declan Rice can play as a defensive midfielder. Declan Rice can play as a box-to-box midfielder, and Declan Rice can also play as a centre-back.
Okay, but
as a matter of fact, Declan Rice will play anywhere across that pitch.
But Dini,
he's a top quality player.
But hold on, if we go back to what Dini and with Dini, I think when you look at Declan Rice, can we not forget? I know it's a team game, but he was bottom of the league. They were bottom 3 for the whole season with West Ham. And he's been part of that. Played
but he's one of the leaders of leading them out of it. Yeah. Where are they now?
Hold on. Okay, but these intangibles that you guys are talking about with Rice, he got them in the bottom 3. So
no, he didn't get them in the bottom 3.
What do you mean? He's captain.
They're in the bottom 3 despite of him. You know what I mean? It's just just because a team. Just because you got a player that's
you have to include
Lucas Paqueta is a bottom 3 player. You know what I mean? He's been
but he's not been good this season,
right? Exactly. But Declan Rice has been good. Speak to any West Ham fan, and they will say to you, the only player that ever gets any credit off of them, whatever the situation, is Declan Rice. Right? Listen to those fans. He's a top player, and he needs to be playing on a higher level. And if he's playing in an Arsenal team, he will be an outstanding signing, I'll tell you that.
Right, how much would you pay for him, Dini? How much would you pay for each of them?
Well, that's another matter. We're not discussing that today.
No, hold on. That play, you see what he does? That's important.
No, the question is...
That's important, though, no?
The question is, right, you can only have one. Who would it be, right? Declan Rice is going to be more expensive. That is where the English tax comes in.
There you go.
I think you might be mistaking Declan Rice for Vladimir Suchek. I don't think honestly, I think the way you're talking about Declan Rice, it's as if you're talking about like a very average footballer playing for like a low league team. I don't understand. I think you need to maybe smash the brakes a little bit. I think you're disrespecting Declan Rice. And here's the thing: when we're linked with Caicedo in January, I came on this channel. And I put several super chats, and I said we should put every penny, we should spend the money and get Caicedo. So I'm not here to disrespect Caicedo. I think if you blindfold me and ask me to choose either of them, and I pick one, I wouldn't be unhappy with either choice. So I'm not here to say Caicedo is a terrible player. And in January, I was saying that we should spend 100 million, 90 million on Caicedo. So I always say that we should bring in players who play like they don't have food in the fridge. And when you look like Caicedo, he plays like that. He plays like a guy who he said it in January, he needs to feed his family. The guy has hunger, he fights very hard, and he's technically, I agree with Dini, he might be technically on the ball, technically slightly better than Rice. And I say slightly. Out the goals that Granit Xhaka has scored and why Rice hasn't scored that's not his job in the team. And what about Caicedo? He scored 2 goals for Brighton in his career.
Yeah, okay. You know what?
Oh, is that right? I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that. I'll explain that one. He scored 2 goals in his career.
You've made some fantastic points. I have to say, you made some fantastic
what are you thinking,
points.
Innit?
No. Look.
You want to apologise?
No. I want to ask you a question though. Do you think he's the captain of West Ham because he's the best player, or because they transitioned from a certain a player before who Mark Noble, who was, he was just the obvious choice? Because I don't think he's the best player in the team. I don't think he's the sort of oracle for West Ham, and I think that was an easy choice. So let's pump the brakes on that.
All the qualities that Caicedo has, when I watch Brighton, he stands out as a very good technical footballer, very good defensive footballer, but I don't see like that authoritative guy who holds the game by the score. I've seen Rice do that every single game that I've watched them against the top teams, especially.
Point that he made just made me do a little bit of a quick research on it. Moises Caicedo 1 goal in the Premier League this season. Declan Rice 3. But according to you, he don't score no goals.
Yeah, he's got 3 goals. How many assists has he got?
Well, you were trying to make out like Caicedo scored more goals.
How many assists has he got?
Huh?
How many assists?
I'll check that in a minute.
Less risk involved in the Rice signing. You know,
All right.
Caicedo is a big fish in a small pond right now. You send him to the Emirates and you send him onto this team. Like, how does he, you know, you don't necessarily think he fits in there seamlessly in the same way that Rice would fill in.
Great point. Listen, thank poll.
How many people voted, by the way?
The poll was voted by 2.3.
Wow, interesting.
2,300 people voted in the poll. 55% of you
Listen,
said Caicedo, 45% Declan Rice.
and I know my mum voted as well, so thank you, mum. She told
She
me.
voted many times. Angie says, I want both, but I prefer Caicedo. And he says, KT, please stay.
100%.
And Babatunde says, big up, guys. Under Mikel, Caicedo will be a monster with our style of play. I've followed this guy since the age of 15, and I promise you, he's a gem.
Babatunde.
Right? Just to remind you about that big event live with an audience. And if you want to be in the audience, click the link in the description and get involved. Tickets selling fast for that event on the 23rd of May at the Islington Assembly Hall right here in North London. We're going to have loads of guests on the day as well, talking about the Arsenal. You do not want to miss it, right? This podcast is a very special one. Over the next couple of weeks, we're giving away a couple of tickets to it as well. But if you want to join us, get your tickets. They are selling fast. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.